Hey, it's me, Renee. I'm back. So I got inspired to do this by Katie from Katie Reads and Rants. She did a video like this months ago. I planned to do it earlier, and here we are. But yeah, this is my favorite trilogies. So I have a lot. I've actually not made this before. I thought I had. I haven't. I've made a favorite books video, and I'm pretty sure I have made a favorite standalones, I think, but I haven't done my favorite trilogies. So a lot of these are, yeah, some of these aren't my all-time favorite books, but these are my favorite trilogies, and some of them are my all-time favorites. Some of them I've cheated with, and I'll explain how I get them. And yeah, first when I was planning this, I thought like, do I really know that many trilogies that are good? Because I've read a few, but like, and yeah, for a long time, trilogies were all that was out in the world. What have you? It was for adults, middle grades, whatever. But like, also you have a lot of quartets, 4-book series. You have a lot of lately you have a lot of duologies. Yeah. So finding simply trilogies was at first difficult, and then yesterday I kind of got a bit more into planning. I just kind of looked more at my shelves, and I thought, oh, you know what? There's actually quite a lot of trilogies. So, yeah, buckle up, find yourself a nice cuppa of coffee, tea, hot chocolate, or just water, or what have you, and enjoy. And yeah, as always, I won't always be kind of showing the whole trilogy because sometimes I won't own the whole trilogy because I'm weird, and I suppose sometimes I've read books from the library and then I haven't bought the books myself because so many books to buy. Um, and sometimes I will, and if I just hold up one book, it doesn't mean that it's not really that I'm cheating you. It just means that I'm just going to show you one book, but it's part of a trilogy. It's as simple as that, really. And yeah, let's start. First, we have Finicking of the Rock by Melina Marchetta. So I read this 4 years ago now, 5 years, around that. I actually got it. Yeah, I actually got recommended on BookTube by one of the big booktubers. I'm picturing her face. Polly, not Polly. Paulina? No. God, this is so. No- I can picture her in my mind, but what her name is, it's missing me. Sorry, it's missing completely. But I'll link her down below. And yeah, she's talked about this in quite a few videos, and it just sounds so interesting. And it is very interesting. It's a high fantasy by Australian author, YA high fantasy, and it's just done so well. And you know what? I'm not going to say so much because, well, A, there's a lot of books in this video I'm going to talk about, and B, it's kind of fun to go into books not knowing much about them, aren't there? Isn't it? And yeah, if you want to know more, you can just check out the title. And also, do you need to know more? Then I'm recommending it. No, you don't. Well, I suppose unless there was some trigger warnings, but they're not. Then we have a book series, well, series trilogy that's it's not that unknown, though it came out now 10 years ago. I think actually maybe more, and it's one of those that's cheating. But okay, I'll show you first, and then I'll explain. So, the Gracing trilogy by Kristen Casual. This is the second book in that trilogy, my favorite in that trilogy. At this point of time, I don't own the other two. I thought I owned the first one, but I don't really know where. No, the first one I got from the library, and I had the third one at one point in time, but it was this huge cover, and I didn't really like huge books, so I usually unhold them. And yeah, I kind of want to get the smaller version. But yeah, so yeah, this is cheating, and one of the few cheating um, titles, series, trilogies, because for 10 years, more or less, it was a trilogy. And then last year, Kristen Cashel came up with a fourth book. But at the same time, each book in this trilogy, at least so far, are they're standalones. So they're more companion books than direct sequels. And also, for a long time, this was a trilogy. So yeah, I'm gonna use this one, and I'm just gonna ignore that it's a fourth book out there, and also that actually a fifth book is coming. But yeah, we'll just ignore that little thing, and yeah, I mean, my channel, my video, my rules. So yeah, then we have a trilogy. I'm gonna show you the whole one because, and it is the Dark Days Pact. No, oh sorry, a Lady Helen novel, or in other words, the Dark Days Club. So you have the Dark Days Club, the Dark Days Deceit, and the Dark Days Pact. So it's kind of described as Buffy, just set in 1800s London. I would say it's kind of similar in a way because protagonist has to fight demons, but at the same time is pretending to be a normal person. Well, normal. She's socialite, so she has to go to balls and then kind of in between snoozing up with the high society, she has to kill a demon. And of course, there's kind of lots of other plots, and yeah, in addition to that, but that's kind of the elevator pitch. And yeah, it's just very, very good. And yeah, highly recommend it. Steampunk for YA, and yeah, very good trilogy. Check it out. Check it out. Yeah, I know. I'm kind of being mean, just adding to your everlasting TBR. Hey, maybe someone's watching this and they haven't really read that much before, and they need lots of tips. Maybe they do. Maybe some teacher is watching this and need help for their pupils. Could be. But yeah, and also if you have a fantastically long TBR, it's up to you to just stop watching this video and move away from BookTube and Booknet. That's up to you. You can't put that on me. Then another one that I'm just going to show one book. I actually have two books, but honestly, I'm a bit too lazy to check out what the other book is. I looked a bit, I couldn't find it, but yeah. This is the first book, so it's kind of fits to use it. It is An Extraordinary Union by Alyssa Cole. So this is her trilogy of that's historical. Well, it's historical. It's a trilogy of Civil War romance slash spy series. So each book in this series, they are connected like companions. So they take place after each other, and they have characters that show up or are mentioned in all of the books. But they can be read completely standalone. You don't need to read them all. But of course, if you read the first one or the second one, you will get spoilers for the first one, as you probably would. Um, yeah, not that unlogical because it takes place after the first one. The first one takes place first, as it usually does. But yeah, and all of them have have African American protagonists. A lot of the characters in them are African Americans, and yeah, it's just a very cool point of view to have in a historical romance because, well, I suppose you don't see that often. You see it more and more lately, but like from before, it wasn't really that much. Before, you had this idea that historical books were just white male English, and yeah, of course, it's not really like that. But yeah, before that was kind of the status quo, and now you're getting much more diversity and inclusivity in historical books, also, which yeah, I love. We need that. We need it so much as we need in all the books and in all the world. But yeah, there, those, and then we have another one that's also kind of a cheat. Yeah, it's actually the same way cheat as in Graceling was a cheat because this was also originally a trilogy, and then the author decided to make a spin-off trilogy. The spin-off trilogy has the same characters, but it's not like the third book in this original trilogy can be read like, and you can finish there, and that's perfectly fine. You don't really need to read more, so you don't need to read both trilogies. Well, I'm saying as I haven't read the whole second trilogy, but at this moment in time, there's 2 books out in the second trilogy, spin-off trilogy, and I've read more of them. And yeah, I wouldn't really say that the second one is the second trilogy is kind of necessary to wrap up stuff and stuff, but yeah, it is The Heroine Complex by Sarah Kuhn. I love this cover. This cover is so amazing. But yeah, this is Asian Americans superheroes in modern day San Francisco. There's also some sci-fi in there, but also some fantasy. So it's a mix there, and it's just great characters and yeah, amazing series. More people need to read it. They need to read it. It's an adult series, but it's not like it doesn't have graphic sex. It has sex scenes, but it doesn't have graphic sex scenes. And there's not a lot of like violence. That sounds weird. Okay, it's not Game of Thrones, to put it like that. And it's not either, there won't really be that much swearing, so like you can read it, whoever really, if you're sensitive to stuff like that. So yeah, people need to read this. I suppose, yeah, you could say like some people don't like fantasy, but like if you have a small inkling towards fantasy or superheroes, check it out. Check it out. Then we have another one where I will just show you one book, but yeah, I don't know what the other books are. Yeah, maybe I probably should get more really shells for Christmas. But yeah, anyway, the Spinster Club trilogy by Holly Bourne. Also kind of funny. I'm holding you a novella, so this is part of the trilogy, but not one of the trilogy books. But yeah, so this is YA feminist. Let's say retelling, not retelling. YA feminist YA feminist contemporary. That's what I was about to say. But also actually companion, because you can read just one of the books. But as with a lot of companion books, they refer to things happening in other books, so you'll be a bit spoiled. But it's contemporary, so do spoilers exist in contemporaries? I mean, I suppose it depends on the contemporary, but like, I don't know. Usually I kind of think spoilers more exist in fantasy and science fiction novels. Like, can you talk about spoilers in contemporary? Or like people, I suppose maybe spoilers is everything that's happening in something, no matter what it is. People talk about spoilers in Grey's Anatomy, and that's contemporary. So yeah, anyway. So yeah, YA feminism, and yeah, it's just so good. The first book is feminism and mental health. The second book is feminism and family issues, I would say in a way, because they all have kind of themes. And the third one is feminism, more or less. Like it's just kind of very, very feminist grounded. And yeah, set in the UK, and yeah, amazing reads. Check it out. Then, you know what? I'm gonna put some books closer, so coming soon. Wait. And so now we have one where I'm gonna show you 2 books. So I just have these 2 books. I listened to the last one on audio. It was very cool on audio, though honestly this is a bit of a cheat in a different way, honestly, because I love the first book. The sequel isn't amazing, but it's pretty good. The third one, nah, nah, nah. So honestly, I think this actually trilogy would be better if they made it into a trilogy, or maybe like a long standalone. So having it on a list of best trilogies is a bit contradictory and weird. But like a lot of me really enjoys it, so it's not like I don't enjoy it at all. So yeah. So it is the Timekeeper series by Sarah Sim. Timekeeper being the first book, and then you have Chainbreaker, and then the last being something. I don't remember what it's called, but yeah, it is. so don't bother with it. But yeah, so this is. I was about to say time travel. It's not time travel. It's more like time magic. So it's time travel ish. It's kind of like top top time stopping, and it's time travel ish in some ways. And also, gods are involved, and there's also gays, and also in this series, the gays. It's legal to be gay before it was in our timeline in our wretched world, but it's still difficult. So it's very well. You have some books where it's not difficult, but yeah, in this one it's still difficult. But yeah, the protagonist is gay, and yeah, beautiful covers, and yeah, I would definitely say check out at least the first book. And yeah, honestly, I kind of think you can read it as a standalone. But if not, check out the second book. Suppose check out all the books. Maybe you enjoy the third book much more than me. But I suppose with me, I think the third book. I think my main issue was I kind of felt like the end kind of went too fast in a way, and I kind of did things a bit weirdly, at least in my mind. But like the beginning and the middle of it was good. So I suppose it's just kind of the end that's kind of made me give me a sour taste in my mouth. So yeah. So if the ending is very important to you, then just be aware of that ending. And then we have a book I have talked about before. This is also a cheat in a way that it's recently came out. Recently. It now has a spin-off trilogy. Though that spin-off trilogy, it's set in the same world, but it's many years apart. And this is the same world, same creatures, but it's none of the same characters. I don't think the same characters. I just don't believe it's none of the same characters actually. And I think actually you can read it completely without reading each other. So like you don't need to read it at all. It's just kind of if you love this one trilogy, you might want more in the same world, which you often do. But yeah, so a trilogy ish kind of one of those. As in like does it count as a trilogy? No, it's weird, but well, it's kind of weird as well. It is Raven Rings by City Petition. And yes, this time, as last few years when we mentioned it, the first two books are out in English. First two are out in English. You have no excuse. If I talked about this one in 2019, it wasn't out in English. It just came out in English last year. Sorry, this year actually. Actually, the first two books actually came out in English this year. So if I talked about this before in 2020, in 2019, 18, if you only read English, you couldn't read this, so I couldn't really be mad at you for not enjoying it. But now, pick it up. It's out on Amazon, Book Depository, Barnes Noble, everywhere. Prudential. Lainey Taylor loves it. It's amazing series. If you want to read books that's not written by Australians or not written by Americans and UK authors, and a fantasy that's not England based. It's European based, yeah, but it's Norwegian mythology based, but just slightly. Well, yeah, slightly. Then check it out. You need to check it out. Yes, the covers are slightly a bit gruesome here and there, but just don't look at the covers. I mean, it's not like you look at the covers all day. You look at the books, at the inside, and of course, beautiful maps all over. And yeah, it's amazing. You need to have it on your wish list for Christmas. People. Okay, I kind of need to also wrap up because I'm going to work. So well, I'm planning to take one trade. I can't take another one. But yeah, anyway, let's move on. And now again, I'm going to show you the whole trilogy because well, I suppose have because they were on the shelf together, so just easier to pick them all up. Sorry, this is a YA retelling. Now, normally, often retellings are Jane Austen or their fairy tales. This retelling of historical events that probably everyone knows about. Retelling of Anastasia Romanoff. So you have Dreaming Anastasia, and you have Haunted and Anastasia Forever. And this is sets a bit both in the time when Anastasia Romanoff lived, but also in modern day, how do I say, UK, US. And it has a witch, that's a witch, but also maybe more of an anti-hero, and also the love interest in this series. Oh, he's just often love interest in YA books. They're either mysterious and kind of aloof and maybe a bit arrogant, or they might be a bit jackasses, but they have a heart of gold. This love interest, yeah, he's a bit mysterious here and there, but he's also very shy, and it's just so, it's just kind of nice to see boys being shy as well and kind of being insecure as well. But he's also so wonderful, so yeah, yeah. Check out this series if you really like Anastasia Romanoff, or if you want retelling. And yeah, talked about before again. Again now, but yeah, so good. Now we have the Ruby Red series. This, at least in my head, kind of has a fun, really story to it. So yeah, as I said before, as you kind of know, I've loved to read all my life. I've uh, always gone, always gone frequently to a library, the school library, the library in town. Always had some books in my grandparents' house had lots of books. So I always read some books there, and yeah, books. But like when I kind of became when I turned 15, 14, I kind of went more into the books world. So I checked out what was reviewed. I went to book blogs. So I was kind of more into like, okay, what's upcoming. So I suppose it was kind of me wanting to know what cool books were coming, but also middle grade bullying, not cool. So like I usually had lots of lists where like these movies are coming out soon and these books are coming out soon to kind of give me something to look forward to brighten my sad everyday. But yeah, so for like between I was 14 to like today, I've kind of been like very into book net and like very into it. So a lot of the books that I've read, I've either heard about or I've either seen like the cover like in passing, or I heard a lot about it on a booknet someplace. This series actually, I just found it completely at random, browsing in a bookstore. I did find out after I bought the first book that it's kind of a big deal book, but like at the time I didn't know about it. So it's kind of fun to like kind of discover it accidentally. Well, it was accidentally. And yeah, it's a Ruby Red series. And as you see, I have Norwegian version. So Rubinrød and Safirblå or Smaragdgrønn. It's originally in German. I found this in my bookstore that I went to in Norwegian. And yeah, so this kind of, I guess, got captivated by the cover and also title. And at this point in time, when did I buy it? I think I bought it when I was 16. I think it was 16 when I found this. Yeah, 16, around there. So yeah, I've already discovered my love for time travel, so had to have it. I've read it a few times after. I would say maybe it's a bit more like towards like the younger YA spectrum. I would say it's a bit childish here and there. But like if you're in the mood for some childish, or if you're between, I would say like yeah, if you're between 9 and 13, check it out. It's a good series, and this is a trilogy. There's no spin-off at all. As a lot of these are actually simply trilogies. And yeah, also there's two movies. I think maybe there's three movies out of the books. I've seen some of it. It's online, but I can't really I haven't really seen the whole movie because I want to see it in good quality. And online, it's just kind of shaky and stuff. And it just exists in German, but not that bothering to me really, but yeah, I suppose it's kind of used to having Y adaptations in English, so it's kind of weird to have it in German, but like the author is German, so it's not that weird really. Also, the author actually has another trilogy that's kind of more about dreaming, and that's also supposed to be a movie. So yeah, cool. But not least, we have another time travel series. Where did I find out about this? I think I found out about this just kind of randomly searching time travel books online some years ago, and I found the first book, Dark Mirror. Read it, and then kind of I don't think really think I forgot about it. I just kind of there's so many books to read, so I didn't really buy these other two before a few years later. So just finished this series last year. But it's an amazing series. There's time travel, there's secret societies, there's also magic, and also I really like how the concept of this is kind of concept because of this lot of characters and this big cast of characters. But I suppose in a way, the main cast. How do you define the main cast? Okay, the cast you meet first, and they have slightly more scenes than the other cast. Okay, the main cast is actually people who their home period is in the 1860s, and then they time travel to 1940s during the Second World War. So for us, it's just historical, but for them, they time travel to the future. So it's just kind of fun to have like someone time travel to the future, but for us, it's still in the past. So usually when time travel for some characters go to the future, it's for us also like future, timey, wimey, space thingy. But here it's just all still in the past. And yeah, very good trilogy. Well, I would say again, kind of, I suppose in a way, I kind of want a spin-off trilogy, well, at least spin-off book. I feel like you can do so much more with this world, really. The first book was real good, and then the second book is expanded on the world, and then the third book expanded a bit, and then just kind of like, hi, and then bye. It's just kind of opens the door slightly more to like more worlds and more um possibilities, and then like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. So yeah, I'm not really sure. I think it's maybe because like the author usually writes historical romance, I believe, and this is her first YA series, and I think also it's her first fantasy series. So I suppose maybe she didn't really like writing fantasy, or maybe she didn't really feel comfortable writing more in it. I don't know. Maybe it's one of those books where, like, 5 years or 10 years in the future, she'll return to it. People do that sometimes, so it's not too late. And yeah, yeah. So yeah, I planned to make this video for yesterday, and then they came and went. But yeah, I'm gonna post it today, and then I'm gonna. And I said earlier I might have a video every day in December or until the 24th. I don't really think it's probably not gonna happen. I'm thinking now, but I'm thinking I'm actually gonna have a few, and actually have one idea that is something I'm gonna do that's gonna be very frequent. So I might do 2 videos a day sometimes in December until further notice. Well, not a day, but at least some days there will be at least one video every day, and yeah, I'm just gonna tease you there. And I hope you have a nice weekend, and I'll see you soon. Bye.